Did they fix Blue Lock Season 2? Is Blue Lock Season 2 redeemed? Did the final episode just save everything? I got a lot to say about this, but hey, Senshi, take it away from me.
Pass. Yo, Shido, pass the ball. Bro, can you actually... Wait, what? Blue Lock Season 2 has been...
Bro ain't passing the ball. He's too busy climaxing. He's too busy knocking up the goalie.
disappointing as a manga reader, but still kept the hype of the anime almost throughout.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all these reactions.
Yeah.
Although only 4 or 5 of them is worth watching. But with
we got a shout out. We got Bluis is
4
here.
or 5 of them.
What the fuck am I making that face for? Oh, it's the shit. It's the fucking outro. It's the special time and Sendo's making, everyone's making stupid faces.
Is worth
And then Michelangelo, hey, what's up?
watching. But with this season finally concluded, did the U20 match deliver?
Yeah. I actually think it did. Right? Because like when I think about the standout episodes of Blue Lock Season 2, I think it all started with Nagi's goal, right? It was Nagi's goals and then the back-to-back Shido goals and then the 2 episodes to conclude the season, which was 5 episodes in that arc. That shit truly, it was so fucking good. And even before it started too, right? The like setting the stage episode, how everyone's, entering the arena, everyone's, getting ready, crazy, narratives being being told to kind of like set up the hype for the stage. Like that episode, anytime Blue Lock doesn't really have, soccer happening, usually those are really good episodes.
Yes.
Kind of.
I've already made 2 videos of Blue Lock going more in depth on 8-bit and the conditions behind the
Martin!
scenes, so you can check that out. Was the U20 match better looking?
Yeah.
Yes. Some episodes definitely was unexpectedly good looking compared to anything before, especially the last episode. It's just showing that 8-bit can do it with the appropriate time. It's
Yep.
not something like Tower of God or even
Exactly, right? This Quaitro fight is so ass, bro. It felt like you're moving like a 2D VTuber rig, just like swaying it aside, like ooh, just moving it like that. Because like 8-bit studios, they can do it. They just choose not to do it sometimes because of time limited resources. Answer Studio, it's just a skill issue.
T-Bat
Oh.
anime that got announced. If you just
Debate.
look at the staff and studio, they are incapable and inexperienced to adapt.
Or cooked. I feel bad for Kevin Penkins, bro. Kevin Penkin is such an amazing soundtrack creator for anime. And bro, when I'm like season 1 of Tower of God, I believe that Kevin Penkins really captivated that mystique of the tower, the aura, the vibes, the mood, right? It's just so fucking good. Kevin Penkins, whenever he touches any anime, like Shield Hero 2, it's just so fucking good. But then when the anime is like ass compared to the soundtrack, it's actually comical. Because when I'm watching Tower of God season 2 and hype soundtrack is happening, but the animation cannot even compare to it, the difference in the gap makes it really funny to me. It's actually disrespectful.
Something.
Yeah, Made in Abyss too, right? Made in Abyss. Something about Kevin Penkin's soundtrack, it sets the tone so well. I don't know how to describe it, but the way that he just makes music, it just immerses you so much into that setting, that environment.
This high profile with the limited resources they have for Blue Lock. Here's a trivia. What could have made Blue Lock Season 2 better looking? A. Don't make slime, Mahoka, and more. B. Don't produce the movie. Or C. Suck my egg.
Big. Well, don't produce the Nagi movie and don't produce Slime and Mahoka. Isn't that kind of like similar? Because like both are taking away time from into like actually making Blue Lock, right? Is there a D? None of the above? Oh!
Well, the answer is don't make slime and
Yeah.
others at the same time.
Mahoka got done so fucking dirty, man. Slime was alright, right? It's not the best we've seen. And obviously, due to the nature of the content of season 3, there's a lot of, talking and yapping and dialogues and meetings. I don't think that really justifies, making those dialogues and meeting scenes not as exciting as it could have been, right? We've seen from Apothecary Diaries or even like Kaguya-sama where yapping and dialogues can be very dynamic. Mahoka, though, holy shit, it's just... Yeah, Mahoka ended with season 1 for me. I that's it. Season 1 is the end of Mahoka. That was a great anime. Season 2 beyond never happened. Fuck the Parasite arcs.
If you agree to that, you're wrong. It's B, the
What?
movie. They had the idea of creating
I got done dirty. All right, why is the movie different from the other animes? Cuz of the staff working on it. Cuz of the teams working on it maybe. Like the slime, the Mahoka team, they don't matter. Even if they didn't have that happening, they wouldn't have been invited over to work on Blue Lock.
the Nagi movie somewhere midway through the first season. And from what I remember, they finished production of the movie 1 month or a couple weeks before when it's gonna be in.
Yeah, because like we watched that interview. We read that interview actually about, you know, the producer Arisawa from Kodansha Bandai Namco actually talking about, you know, why they decided to make the movie at the same time as season 1. And you can clearly see a fall off in quality near the tail end of season 1, I think. And maybe I'm just trying to make, you know, just trying to like connect dots, but I think it makes sense that if you're trying to like work the movie at the same time and season 1 was almost being done, then like the quality would suffer. Why did they do it? The reasoning was like, oh, it's because the movie, you know, it's easier to make when people are so fresh with what's happening in Blue Lock right now. So while season 1's still going, let's just shove that shit in.
Theaters in Japan at least, and the movie was in April 2024. And of course that doesn't mean that they started production after the movie finished. It's up in the air whether they did pre-production the same time as the movie was in production, or etc, etc. You can't have concrete evidence of this, but if the movie wasn't a thing, there was a chance that either the season 1 director or the movie director slash assistant director for season 1 could have been the same team for season 2. That's
Got it.
that. Because as a project slash production, you gotta maintain a level of stabilism so that the staff can actually do something, not get shunned away of how bad the schedule is. Direction is very essential to create hype. People might confuse it for just good content, but it's a bit of both. Good content can excel on its own, but if the overall production value and direction feel stale, it's not gonna.
Tower of God, exactly, right? Because again, Tower of God Season 2, Workshop Battle Arc, and Blue Lock U20, I think both content from the source material should be pretty hype. I'm not saying U20 is way more hype or way less hype than Workshop Battle, but I think at the very least, both should be really enjoyable and exciting. Yet, Tower of God could never deliver on the hype. Why? The direction, right? The way that they directed it. The way that, like, they didn't understand how the fuck it was supposed to be. Why? Lack of talent, skill, but also they didn't really work close with SIU, I'm imagining, because he lives in Korea and, you know, this is a Japanese studio, I think. Blue Lock, we have confirmation that the teams work closely with the mangaka and the editor, so they're just able to direct the shit in a way better way.
Work. You've probably seen a source material that gets faithfully adapted, but the thing that makes the show bad is
Spirit
the
Chronicles.
direction. I don't have an example. Episode directors and series director are mostly in the same room together when it's time to do anything in post-production. They don't just translate the storyboards, they do a lot more, like guiding the voice actors. Yes, the talent of the VAs can carry it, but
Oshinoko.
without the director's input, it will not be the best for the show. I mean, just look at Makiine. Some newer VAs was there, but
Komari.
the voice acting is some of the best this year. Music placements, sound effects, editing with the person who has the editing role. Change the art style to their liking, maybe for a less
There it is, right? Hajime. What's his name? Nihira Hajime, right? Episode director and storyboard. The dude that did 80 cuts here.
dense final product that's less straining for the staff and still please the viewers with the dedicated style for the episode and a lot more. Talking more about the U20 match, in my previous video I stopped at when Isagi wanted to be put in a collar.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than the third selection, but again, a material like this that's hard to adapt since movement is necessary almost every second, and the philosophy of the producers making it harder for the staff with the detailed and heavy line count design, that what makes the essence of Nomura Sensei's art from the manga. The team tried everything they could with the resources and importantly time available. Had a couple of standout episodes that exceed everything before the U20 match, even in the second half of season.
Yeah, season 2, I if there's 14 episodes, a lot of people seem to have the assumption that like, oh, why are you saying that season 2 is saved just because of one good finale episode? But I think that's being very disingenuous. Because like, how many episodes are there in total season 2? 14. how many of them are actually peak? 5 of them. With the finale, I think, being peak plus. 5 of them being the Nagi goal, the back-to-back Shiro goals, and again, the conclusion, the finale, which was 2 episodes back-to-back, right? With the actual finale being the best. 5 of those are really, really fucking amazing. And then there's like 3 other episodes that come to mind, which were pretty great. The first episode, because there was no soccer, right? Just hyping shit up, new selection, nice, new arc, get hyped. The second one was the Itoshi brothers flashback. There was soccer animation there, but not that much. But that episode was actually really, really good. And then the third one is probably the episode getting ready to set up the U20. You know, everyone's gathering around the stadium and stuff like that. So if we kind of add all that up, that's 8 out of 14 episodes, 3 of them being great, 5 of them being fucking amazing, 1 of them being pretty much fucking peak, right? 8 episodes out of 14. That is pretty fucking amazing. Now there's 6 of them, which is slide lock and PNG lock. So I'm not saying again that like PNG lock or slide lock should be justified, but I think people have a very twisted perception of how bad Blue Lock Season 2 actually was. Because they're just thinking, oh, the finale was just hype. Is that it? Not really. The other episodes are pretty fucking good too. I mean, maybe we could also include the Baro episode, you know, the episode that was kind of the connecting between after the Shiro goal into the finale. That one was alright, but again, I think that people have a very negative outlook on this because of how much PNG lock and slide lock is memed on.
The movement or PowerPoint slides really didn't help people working on it, making it harder to execute some scenes with no movement, and to compensate that limitation with using effects that's put in post, although it doesn't really mix well. But for the U20, it's definitely executed better. The more brighter color design sometimes, or compositing, adding bloom effects to the sponsor boards, I guess. That makes it very appealing to look at. And the presence of 2D effects. Again, the effects was always done in post, but the U20 match, there was a lot more use of hand-drawn effects that elevates the overall aesthetic because you have effects animation directors / animators present. Usually, the more refined and cooler visual presentation.
Yeah, I fucking hate this, bro. The way that he words it. I think we have created a more refined and cooler visual representation, kind of like a culmination. He's like, yes, we've created a new mechanic. I think you'll be very proud of it. Basically, CapCut fucking cuts. Fart aura. These lines, like impact lines, like these shadings that makes it look like things are moving when things aren't moving.
That the producer ChatGPT said, while it can look good with the VFX, it doesn't make the scene better, but sometimes making it look worse with the added effects. Blue Lock Season 2 usually has good looking drawings because it doesn't move. While it can be inconsistent.
It doesn't. But yeah, but the art has always been fantastic for Blue Lock.
There's always a level of polish that some episodes had, but again, animating more detailed looking characters is harder. Time was not in their favor. Even in the better looking episodes, the animation director and chief animation director credits is a mess. Usually lower AD counts signify a healthier production for that episode, like Dun 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 episodes.
Really? Lower animation director counts is good signs that there was like a healthy schedule. Why? Because one person can have the vision to follow through on what he wanted to do rather than having too many chefs in the kitchen. If you have too many chefs in the kitchen, things kind of lose, I guess, the vision that the original had. But not only just that, more intuitively, you need more people because you don't have time. So that's unhealthy.
7. But for Blue Lock Season 2, the production has always been in the mud from episode 1. Higher ADs and chief AD counts means there's a higher priority for that specific episode to have more people polish the drawings because the couple of animation directors that was supposed to do the episode couldn't do it alone, so they had to call in more people and even studios. That's why the reliance of CG was so present. They don't have time to do in-betweenings or even animating some of the footwork. Although if they had time, they could have animated the CG foot to 2D, but again, that takes time.
It's actually kind of crazy, huh? That simple CG foot there is something that was done because of the lack of time that they had. But like something so, like you wouldn't think that a simple cut to a foot, soccer cleats looking CG would impact your viewership. But it did feel jarring. Every time we go to the ground and you just see CG foot out of nowhere, it kind of like takes away from the immersion.
I know people talk trash about the CG. Yes, it can look dog shit. But when it's more focused on the footwork, it's
Mm.
actually good. The long
Yeah.
Bachira sequence is a good example.
Yeah.
When we zoom out and show the full body, maybe some girls will cream their pants, but the full body CG doesn't look the best. Although when we zoom in and the focus more on the footwork, it's again good with
Yeah, this whole Bachira dribble sequence looked good CG.
adding line art. I don't think the line art is 2D. It's probably just VFX and make the CG look more 2D, I guess. People can trash the CG, but I do think it can pace the episode better and make non-football watchers understand it more. Some episodes really stood out for me in terms of capturing that tension and hype while also keeping the visual intact in some moments, although PNG lock is still a thing. Welcome to PowerPoint. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to say first, the storyboarders that's been from season 1. They
Yeah.
also did a lot for season 2. Kiyoshi Oshiyama storyboarded 7 episodes. Chihori Nita did 8 episodes. Chikashi Sato, or whoever this is, Google Translate is just ash cheeks
Okay.
translating names, did
I'm like, why do you have English and suddenly Japanese?
5 episodes. Some of them they did only half of the episodes, but still, they did some of the worst looking episodes and the best. Just goes to show that with enough resources, they can do something good. And of course, they are not the directors, they are not the one keeping the consistency of the episode. They're just there doing the storyboards. Again,
Just trying their best.
the episode directors can really keep the hype in some episodes with the music by Jun Mirayama. Amazing job. Keeping
Great
the tension in
soundtracks.
some stuff. In the U20 match, I would say episode 6, 10,
Yeah.
11, 13, and 14
Yep.
definitely was the standout episodes. Listen, episodes, not moments. There's few episodes that had consistency in terms of direction, boards, good visual ideas, and a lot more that felt well paced the whole way through, not focusing on one moment. While it had standout sequences and polished looking drawings, it's not a one moment thing in an episode, then everything is just donkey dick.
Yeah, right. Like, again, we gotta look at like a whole. There are like definitely cool moments that really peaks here, scattered out all across. But like in terms of actual consistency of the entire episodes, like the ones mentioned, they are very memorable.
Like Kunigami,
Woo!
as a manga reader.
What?
From my previous video, someone commented that episode 6 had Kohei Eguchi as production manager,
Okay.
the animation producer right now for Slime. So they had some of the Slime staff working
Cool.
on that episode. Yes, I know this person that commented knows animation. Unlike some dumbasses.
Surely people online wouldn't lie, right? No, we just gonna animate Blue Lock ourselves. All right, Among Us 1087, go do it.
Like some dumbasses. Episode 10 and 11 had kind of the same thing with standout cuts that made the highlight of the episode. While episode 11 was more consistent in terms of drawings and overall direction, episode 11 was still good. This Chigiri running and Sai
looks
taking
great.
the free kick is by Haruka Yamaguchi that also previously worked on Slime Season 3. Or the only thing that he has worked on, with some nice mirrors on Chigiri's hand and the Shido rotating shot. crazy
Yeah.
that this even existed. Probably some 3D
I love that whole rotation moment, man. That shit was so hype.
usage to map out Shido spinning. People think that this is by Tetsuro Nigeri, judging by the smearing work, and I looked at some of his works. He mostly does use these outlined smears. That's very spiky.
Remember, what's a smear? Having exaggerated stretching of animation that if you pause in a frame, you might think it's ass, but no, you're stupid. It exaggerates the movements, making it look more epic.
Sometimes he uses different ones like this no outline smears, but mostly he does this smears. Episode 11, Shido's Big Bang Drive,
Ooh.
or trying to make the goalpost pregnant, was done by Takashi Tomioka, a really good freelance animator that has a good connection with 8-bit. The over-exaggerated posing, effects, and
So
impact
good.
frames look so
That's still the best goal of Blue Lock so far.
good, but the build-up was even better. It's mostly anime original, the build-up with this hyper-realistic visuals and sperm.
Yeah, like, the way that each individual sperm was trying to go into the egg and do the whole fucking, knocking up process. It was crazy. It was really like, it was surreal. Like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Original, the build-up with this hyper-realistic visuals and sperm that definitely had the same style as the first episode of Slime.
Oh, true. First episode of Tensuro in the cave. Now that I think about it, the art style. It's very similar.
I'm with this hyper realistic CGI.
Yeah.
Finally, episode 14 had some visually stunning looking stuff. There's a lot,
Zombies.
but the standout ones is the Sai versus Rin and Isagi's goal that Hajime Nihira constructed. He
Let's
started
go.
working in the industry in 2022. Yes, his
Bro is almost like 2022. He's like 4 years into the industry now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 5 just yet, but goddamn, new talent.
first work was in Blue Lock. He did some good looking scenes and did Isagi's direct shot in the first season. He storyboarded, directed, and animated the whole 2
Hajime Nihira storyboarded all the CinemaScope parts. He animated the Rin Versailles up until CinemaScope was gone. Although the Isagi celebration part is still uncertain if Nihira animated it. Also, while yes, he animated almost 3 minutes of content, he's not the only one behind the sequence there. Second key animators, in-betweeners, color and photography, animation directors, and more, of course, an 8-bit. Yeah, and I guess it makes sense that this guy was able to do 80 cuts and sacrifice everything for this because he's young. I don't know. I don't think this is like a 50-year-old man, right? I mean, maybe he entered the industry at like 47, but I feel like this is just like a cracked young talent just going fucking all out for this one episode.
minute scene and maybe the celebration
How old is he? I love the celebration scene, by the way. As soon as the goal was made, the way that Isagi just like extended his arms, that shit was so hype. I don't really see any information about Hajime Nihira age. Do we see it? Age. Not really. Age. I mean, I personally probably wouldn't go around, listing my age and shit like that online. So I don't know. I'm just gonna assume that he's relatively young because he's new to the industry. It's a fair assumption to make.
too, but Nihira really had his own philosophy for this scene. He directed this part so he can do that. And leaning more on the Kagenashi style, meaning
What's that? Shadowless, baby!
shadowless when they were moving a lot. Prioritizing
Yeah.
movement but still at a level of quality that viewers can still appreciate. It's something that Naruto does a lot. Same goes for webgen animators, either in the director chair or as an animator. The overall storyboards really making the crowd more involved. The GoPro S shots and the audio side is great, mixing the song and also the crowd chants to elevate the overall attention for this scene.
Yes.
Now, time for some slander. For
Okay.
the funny haha PNG gay dudes kissing, I'm sorry.
wait. Hey, it's Karma. Nagisa and Karma? Nagisa's making the move on Karma here. What the hell? Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Dudes kissing, I'm sorry. I had to slip in that Nagisa karma shit. It's been on my timeline a lot.
It's been on my timeline a lot too. I don't know why, but on Twitter, there's like this one fucking Twitter account that just keeps making Nagisa Karma content. They keep posting it. And I know it's the 10-year anniversary coming up, but it's like, damn, this guy is dedicated. Like, I don't think Assassination Classroom's really talked of much right now, but that person is still fucking just drawing fan art.
And it's also my top 3
Oh, top 10. Your Lie in April, Assassination Classroom, Hibiki Euphonium. That's like a really god tier KyoAni anime, right? Anohana, Violet Evergarden, Don't Know Sora Yorimo Toi Basho, Sakura. Oh, Sakura. That's a lot. Railgun! Railgun mentioned. A lot of slice of life and romance drama stuff here, huh? Okay.
anime. Anyways, the U20 had its peak moments, but for me, there was some episodes that I just didn't enjoy. You know, I would prefer some of the third selection episodes because it was better handled direction-wise.
Okay.
Episode 7 and 9 could be the worst episodes for me because I really didn't enjoy it and
Really?
visually it was pretty broken. I mean, most of the episodes this season was, but it was trying a bit too hard to move the characters. But in the final product, it looked janky and not appealing. I've said
Okay.
before that the 2D effects was more present, but episode 7 had hand-drawn effects with one main single color, nothing else. Unlike some other good-looking 2D effects, while the Nagi moment was good, the whole
Yeah.
episode was
Yeah, maybe now that I think about it, maybe the Nagi episode was just like a specific peak moment, but the rest of the episode, right? If you think about, again, the entire episode, was it actually that good? Maybe it was just fucking slide lock. And then just one good Nagi moment.
trash. Episode 7 was basically outsourced to 7 arcs. Although there was no indication that it was, most of the credits does lean on the fact that 7 arcs did a
Okay.
lot of stuff. Same goes for episode 9, it was outsourced to Brio Animation with no credits. And same goes with this episode, it was handled all by the
backstory
Rio
one.
Animation Studio. While there was good-looking drawings and compositing, the movement felt stiffer than usual. They literally reused a whole 30-second sequence from the first episode.
Yeah, this is the same.
But with different compositing, although
Now this is efficient. Call it lazy, call it shameless. Yeah, it is.
I was kind of okay with that. Like, Aiku's little backstory was handled better in my opinion compared to Rin's, really using color to highlight the main message that Aiku's telling. More importantly, the direction was not good. Episode 9 could get away with it being a flashback, but again, still wasn't good. But episode 7 was bad. The pacing was bad, and I'm talking more about the editing aspect of cutting from different scenes. It just doesn't flow well to give that hype.
Get it? Flow. It didn't flow well. No one was in flow states.
And impact. The music also, they literally only
God, I hate it when this guy's on screen, bro. This is the worst fucking character in U20. This dude is so cringe.
use like 2 soundtracks in episode 7. Like, I'm not saying using only one soundtrack is bad. Look at Dandadan episode 7. But it's how you use the soundtrack, stopping it, lowering the volume, and placing it at the perfect time, matching the vibe of that certain moment. And
Timing!
It didn't do any of that. Yes, Nagi's goal was good, but overall the episode was bad.
I guess I just don't even remember the rest of the episode because again, one hype moment makes me forget everything else. I'm just like, damn, Nagi's goal was so good. Sure, the other episode, you know, the entire episode was good too, right? Now I don't really think about it. Is it really?
Although most people enjoyed it, so you know.
Yeah, these ratings. I mean, again, one hype fucking moment. Well, basically, like people judge the episode based on like, was there like a really cool moment? You know what I mean? Most people don't judge it entirety of the episode, right? How could they? They're fucking casuals. They don't even know what they're looking for, right? They just look for, was there like a super hype moment? And if it wasn't, then they're gonna be like, all right, slide lock, PNG lock. But like one fucking hype moment, and it's just like, oh shit, this is peak.
Enjoyed it, so you know, keep enjoying it. I'm a Blue Lock laser. There is a lot of misconceptions about the production or just animation for Blue Lock.
Okay.
Because I don't know, maybe they
talented
only watch
animators
Gigak
work.
about animation. I mentioned that
Gigak slander is always welcome.
there was outsourced episodes to save time, not budget. Time. Outsourcing costs more. You are using outside help, and the notion of budget comes to play more in Blue Lock because this project had a terrible production from the beginning, meaning more money. There's more people you have to hire for, like in-betweenings, animation director. I mean, just look at this list of ADs. There's literal studios name attached. It's
That's not a good thing, right? More animation directors, unhealthy schedule, it's not a good thing.
money that you are not supposed to spend if the conditions were actually good. And little to this is Martin Kings is only a layout artist, so he gets paid on a per cut basis, not monthly since he is a freelancer. So every one cut of layout you get paid or something like that. Hell,
1 month salary, $32 USD. Goddamn, bro. Goddamn.
Yen Yen, an amazing animator and is one of the standouts in the One Piece team, commented in one of my videos saying you can negotiate. Of course, Yen Yen now is a household name, so I'm guessing he has the privilege to do that.
Okay, this is like a super peak talent, huh? Yen Yen. Yen BM. Okay. I mean, shit. This is the guy?
Yen Yen,
This is the actual guy? Look like a super young person.
an amazing animator and is one of the standouts in the One Piece team, commented in one of my videos saying you can negotiate. Of course, Yen Yen now is a household name, so I'm guessing he has the privilege to do that. So for, let's say, Martin Kings, someone who is just pretty new and not that
Yeah, you don't really have leverage, right? Who's gonna listen to this newer person? No disrespect to Martin, but you know, unless you have that like leverage of like, I've worked on these super crazy projects, you know my talents. You know, you can't be just going around negotiating. They won't even accept it.
recognizable, no hate. They would take advantage of the amateurish, you can say. One last thing I want to add is Nagi and Reo kissing. Sorry,
What?
It's resource management. A director and also animation producer is to compensate on what you should do to make it less straining for the staff. Of course, the producer wants to make the anime as detailed as the manga drawings. That's already harder for the staff. Making a more simpler design can be easier to animate. We saw this in JJK Season 2 and
Shadowless
Chainsaw Man movie, how simpler the design is because the schedule is not good to make something that ambitious. Allocating resources for certain episodes is also another.
Gee! JC staff, JC. How many JC staff is here? Holy fuck! Jesus.
Thing. If a project doesn't have time to do all of the episodes with the bar of quality it should have, then sacrificing episodes is something you can do.
Lightning!
Dandadan did this. JJK Season 2 did it. Frieren had to produce 28 mostly very ambitious episodes in 2 years, but with that time frame, it's
Rotoscope.
not enough. So what they did is outsource some episodes and had people that's close ties with the director to help with some episodes. I previously said this before too. If this season had season 1's director, Tetsuaki Watanabe, it would have visually been better in terms of the decision about
Yeah.
the effects, or I guess the overall aesthetic, since Watanabe is a more competent director compared to this season, which I still don't know who is the director for the season.
I don't know why people keep commenting on my videos saying like, bro, don't you realize that season 1 animation was like also equally garbage? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's fundamentally different.
If a certain director is limited with the time and resources they had in a project, then they can't really go all out.
Woo! 7th Prince getting mentioned! Yo, 7th Prince was such a good anime. A lot of people shit on it because Shotacons, but dude, go watch it if you haven't. Sofa, let's go!
Go all out. Example is with Miso. He can make some of the best action-oriented episodes.
Oh, yeah. This scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in Mob Psycho Season 2. The teleporter guy, when he's like trying to aim the gun at like the teleporter gun, he shows up behind you. Oh my god.
Some of the best
Boom, 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 and then behind you.
episodes. But if you don't supply him with the time and talent to construct a nuts to butts action episode, then you get something like Miso's episode in Wistoria. It just looks like a mediocre episode with some very little spikes of decent cuts. Same goes with Susumu Nishizawa, the director for season 3 and 4 of 7 Deadly Sins. If all the animation and production gets all outsourced to an even worse studio than Dean, to Marvy Jax, then
Even worse than Dean, Marvy. Did they just Spice and Wolf? Yo, this anime though, I heard it's just so fucking ass. This one gets shit on so hard. 5.2 is a crazy rating.
his vision can't be there. If you give the episode again time and talent, you see storyboarded episodes by him, like in Kaiju episode 10, or one of the
Oh, he did
standout
that.
and more consistent looking
Capella!
episode of that season, being ReZero season 3 episode 5.
They need time. Even godlike talent. If you don't give them time, they can't deliver.
There's a lot more I could discuss, but this video is way too long. I really hope
Yeah, it's a longer video than usual. 17 minutes from Senshi.
8-Bit gets the time they needed for a season 3, because it will happen.
Neo Ego Sleep!
Season 2 was still not good, but it definitely
Yeah.
upped itself more and more in the latter half of the season.
Yeah, again, the example I give is like, they have come with the perfect compromise strategy, right? Ignoring the less important episodes in terms of hype and having these moments of peak here and there scattered out through U20, and then having the couple last episodes really deliver. And most people are just going to remember the recency bias part of it, right? Most people are not going to remember all the other shit that happened in the past. Maybe people will still meme about slide lock and PNG lock, but I truly believe like the way that something ends, that's the most memorable part. And I've been thinking about Dandadan as well, because Dandadan episode 7 was so fucking peak. Yet, why am I kind of salty about Dandadan, split core ending the way it did? Well, because it was an abrupt ending and there was no satisfying conclusion, and we're waiting until summer, right? And again, the season's not over. I'm sure season 1 of Dandadan is going to be amazing, but what I'm trying to say is, even if you have a peak episode like episode 7 Dandadan, if that isn't the way that you go out with like a bang as to conclude like a segment of a show, then it won't be as impactful to the average person. I think that I'm the average person, the way that I like try to like see from different perspectives, and the way that Blue Lock ended, it was just so fucking memorable. It's so hype. I'm fixated on how stupid hype the last episode was, and therefore I'm gonna just ignore everything else that happened, leading up to it. And that's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because I'm sure a lot of consumers also agree with me. Some people definitely will say, I hate season 2. I can't believe, they did this. And I agree with you that, it deserved better. I agree with you that in an ideal world, the entire season could have had a consistency of quality. Yet, that's not really the reality that we're living in, right? So it's just they're gonna get away with it, man. It's gonna become an industry standard. I hope that 8-Bit won't, do something as heinous as the beginning of season 2 with the slide lock and the Neo Egoist arc, but only time will tell. Dadan season 2 has 2 series director now, so that's probably implying the schedule's a bit tighter. That's right. The more animator directors on board, not a good sign. You would think that it is, but it's actually not a good sign.
I mean, I ranked it at B when I was.
Oh, this list was before last 2 episodes aired. Based! Kimi no Maid-sama at D tier. Yo, Bleach is down here? What do you have against Bleach? What the fuck? Why'd you shit on Bleach so hard? And I think this is the movie, the Chainsaw Man movie, right? You hate Bleach? Okay. Alright. Okay. Blue Lock, Sumacho. I don't know this one. ReZero, Dandadan, Damachi. A tier, Ranma, nice. Yeah, Ranma was really good, right? I think Ranma was really, really fucking hype. But a lot of people are hyping up Bleach. Okay, alright.
Was ranking my fall 2024 animes on stream.
Hype.
Twitch.tv says Shinji-san. I don't want to
Hey.
ramble much more, and if I miss something, I'm sorry. Not really. But if you guys like this video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a like. Comment down below what are your thoughts on Blue Lock Season 2.
Yes, sir. And that's the video. Senshi put it well. There's a lot of, I think a lot of people have misunderstandings like myself about, the anime industry and how production of anime goes on. And it's all about the timing, right? It's about the time, the limited resources, time, and 8-Bit Studios just having the fucking movie overlapping, with season 1 and, into the production of season 2, maybe? I'm not sure. But overall, like, season 2, the recency bias is going to make me forget about all the shit that happened before. And again, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. Neil Desai says Bleach is the best show ever made. Yeah, I'm sure it feels that way to you, because you fucking getting 200k views per every fucking Bleach video, motherfucker. Well, I'm dying here wanting to get in on the Battle Shonen, but I'm locked out. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're getting all that fucking shit, but one of these days, maybe we can get into Bleach, but that's pretty much it. Please go again. Check out Senshi's video. Here's a link again. Here it is. And I'll see you guys next time.